Some of the girls feel like automatically I have an advantage over them because I'm awesome and, you know, I totally have it going on.
What's good, friends, fam, and welcome back to my channel. So today I really wanted to show you guys my recipe for these really sweet and savory Brussels sprouts. It has become a favorite of mine during my healthy journey, and I really wanted to start sharing these recipes with you guys because healthy food does not have to be boring at all. So let's get into it. I'm just washing my Brussels sprouts. It's so imperative, you guys. You have to wash everything, especially veggies. You don't know what's going on. I actually got these from Trader Joe's. They're the organic version. Everything's going to be linked below in the description. So I'm just going to shake out the excess water. You can use a regular bowl, but I just felt that this would be easier to kind of get the water away. And so now I'm just going to roll them out onto a paper towel. And then I'm going to start spreading them out, see how many I have. These are pretty big. It's all about what you want. I like my Brussels sprouts to be very large because they can kind of shrink when they're in the oven. You'll see what I mean. So now I'm just spacing them all out. And then I'm going to begin drying them off. So right now we're just moving everything out of the way, spacing everything out. And then I'm going to grab a paper towel and start to dry them off. So as you can see, I'm just kind of patting each one by one, making sure that I get all of the water off. Sometimes I really like to let them just sit and dry on their own. But for the sake of the video, this is also an alternative option that's really, really great. If you're pressed for time, you do not have to let them sit, y'all, at all. So as we're just getting them dry, then we're going to move over to cutting them, and I will talk to you guys a little bit more as we move there. Just drying everything off, making sure you want to make sure they're completely dry. So you're not overdoing it. So now we're going to go ahead and cut the ends off of each Brussels sprout, and then we're also going to cut it in half. So this will be after you wash them. And so for each Brussels sprout one by one, this can seem tedious. It's really not that many Brussels sprouts, but it should be cut. Try to cut it as close to the middle as you can. It doesn't have to be even, you guys. And then those little leaves that kind of fall off, please save those. They're so good. They're so crunchy. Like, don't throw them in the trash. So we're going to cut each one by one. Some are bigger than others, as you can see, and some fall off. So if it's kind of annoying, just know that you're still going to eat that part too. Just throw it all into one bowl, as you can see that I'm doing here. Just cutting away. And then we're going to make sure we're filling up the bowl with all of them. And as I said before, I did get these Brussels sprouts from Trader Joe's. They're my favorite. They cook really, really well, you guys. So we're going to make sure we're cutting one by one. And then if you want help doing this, if you're like, girl, I don't have time to be cutting up Brussels sprouts one by one. I have things to do. I gotta go work out. I don't have time to do this. That's why we prep on Sundays, y'all. That's why we meal prep. We don't just do stuff on a whim. And also, if you want to prep in advance, you can cut these up like in advance, put them in the fridge, and then pop them in the oven based on this recipe, of course, and do your thing. This is like a perfect side for anything. Like we're at Ruth Chris, pretty much. We're at Ruth Chris when we pull out the Brussels sprouts. So as you can see, I'm just showing you how it looks in the bowl. Everything's dried, everything's cut up. And so now, this is so important, you guys. Make sure that you're preheating your oven to 425, that is. And so once it is preheated, well, actually, you're going to put the pan in the oven and it's going to preheat with the oven. Now, we're going to make sure that we're adding our salt. I particularly like sea salt. So if you're like, what salt can I get? Sea salt is perfect. You can also use kosher, but just to follow the recipe exact, I do generously put sea salt. And then I also go in with my Trader Joe's olive oil. You can use any type of oil that you want. But I would, if you're, trying to follow this recipe, definitely use olive oil to sprinkle throughout. And then as you're seeing me pour it generously, I'm also adding in some black pepper, which is really amazing. You can opt out for the black pepper if you're like, I don't want to, don't like it. You don't have to, but it's, I mean, it makes a difference. So just, you know, it's up to you. And then we're just going to go in with our hand and we're going to mush this around, spin this around to make sure that all of the salt, pepper, and olive oil spreads throughout the Brussels sprouts. Oil and the salt is integral for how it's going to cook. If you don't have enough salt on the Brussels sprouts, it's not going to be as crispy as you might want them to be. So just keep that in mind. So I'm just showing you guys what it's looking like. It's looking good. It's looking good. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get that pan out of the oven that we preheated. So it should be really hot, you guys. Make sure you have an oven mitt. Be very careful. And we're going to go ahead and put these Brussels sprouts face down onto the pan. So one by one. This can seem very tedious, y'all. It may slip out of your hand, so just be careful. If you want to use tongs, you can. I like to just get down and dirty and use my hands because it's just so much easier. And like I said, it's very oily, so it can slip out of your hands. So I'm just showing you guys what it's looking like. It's looking good. It's looking good. So we're just placing everything out onto the pan. Sometimes, depending on how many Brussels sprouts you're cooking, you may need more than one pan. I just always stuff them all onto this pan because I don't have time to be washing extra dishes. So as you can see, all of the leaves, all of the Brussels sprouts are face down. And then it's just looking good. It's looking ready to go. I'm excited. All of the excess leaves are going to cook down really well, you guys. So don't worry about that at all. We're going to go ahead and place it in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes, you guys. So just remember that. And then here it is. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Crispy. It's sizzling. It's giving everything that it was supposed to give, you guys. So this is what it should be looking like. Don't worry if it's not crispy enough for you. It's going to go back in the oven, you guys. So now we want to make sure that we're flipping over each Brussels sprout on its back. I like to call it the back part of it, the bulky part, kind of like the booty of it. You want to put it on its back so that the other side can cook the part that was face down. And so you want to turn each one over. This can be kind of annoying, you guys, but you got to do what you got to do to get the recipe that you want. And so now this is what it's looking like, you guys. Everything is flipped over. And then it's just, this is so important, you guys. This, look at this. Look at this. Crispiness. And so now we're going to take our pan. We're going to take our pan and then we're going to put this in the oven, y'all. We're going to put this in the oven. And how long we're putting this in the oven? We're putting this in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes. Boom, there it is. After 6 to 8 minutes, we're taking it out. Look at the crispiness, y'all. It's sizzling. It's, oh my goodness. Look at this. Amazing. Just beautiful. A perfect addition to your meal plans, you guys. I love it. So now we're going to move that pan over. Just kind of protect your surface if you have a rag or something to put underneath it. And then now we're going to go ahead and use the spatula to put, you can kind of pour it in if you want, but the pan is hot, you guys, so I didn't want to just pick it up. But you can take the Brussels sprouts and throw them into the bowl because we're going to start mixing it up with the consistency. So for now, just make sure you're placing it into a bowl. Make sure you have a big enough bowl because it can be kind of annoying because then you'd have to go get multiple bowls to kind of do what we need to do next. So as you can see, we have the Brussels sprouts. They're finished. They're done. So now we're just adding in some balsamic vinaigrette. My favorite one is also from Trader Joe's, as you guys probably have guessed it. And I used about 3 tablespoons of it. Use as much as you want. It's totally up to you. This is your meal. You don't have to follow it exactly. And then now we're going to go in with some honey, you guys. Oh my goodness. Any honey will do. I'll put some of my favorites below in the description box for you guys as well. But we're going to go in with some honey and just balsamic vinaigrette. And that's the final part of it, you guys. So I'm just showing you guys what it looks like, and then we're gonna start mixing it up. We're gonna start mixing it up. We're mixing it up, you guys. Woo, look at that. And oh my goodness, this is the finished product. Roasted, sticky, savory, sweet Brussels sprouts, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this recipe.